Hey guys, Jimbo Klumbo here. In this video we're going to be going over some gameplay for Alpha Clash TCG. This deck right here is going to be the Magnate deck, and I'm going to be going against the Moxie deck, and my wife's going to be playing that one. So this is going to be the Magnate deck here. Okay, so he's going to be the contender. So in Alpha Clash, you have a contender similar to Magic or Flesh and Blood, where you have like a hero or a commander. In this game, you have a contender. So you're going to start off by putting your contender at the top, left or right, depending on where you are. These are going to be designated as a contender up here. And then you're also going to kind of know just by how the card looks and everything. So that's how you start the game. These are going to be demo decks, so these are 30 card decks. So a standard game is going to be have a much larger deck. So you're going to begin by shuffling your deck. And then once you shuffled it really good, you're going to draw 8 cards. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Place it in the deck area. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can mulligan. Say, for example, if I didn't want these 2 cards, I could take them out, put them at the bottom of my deck, and then draw the amount of cards that I mulliganed. In this case, I'm not going to mulligan, but if you wanted to, you could. All right, so to begin the game, we will roll a dice. I got 3, and my wife got 17. So she gets to choose who wants to go first.
You can go first.
All right, so I can go first. So for the purpose of the demo, we're going to do 20 health instead of the 30 that's in the top right corner of the contender card. Because it's a smaller deck and these are demo decks, kind of make the game go a little bit faster. So to begin, draw 8 cards and roll a dice. My wife Vanessa won, and she said that I could go first. So to start the game, we are able to play a mana card. Any card in your deck, it can be eligible to play energy or mana. That's going to be designated by the top right corner of the card up here. In this case, I'm going to play this card as a resource card or a mana card. You're going to place it upside down in the very bottom of the mat in the resource row, and that's going to generate me 1 mana. Some of these cards, like this card for example, has a 5 in the top, and that's going to be the resource cost if you were to play the card, not if you were playing the card as a resource or a mana card. So it's going to be 1 card, and I will start out with a Clash card, which is going to be Magnate Cunning Planner. He's going to cost 1 resource. He's a 1 attack, 1 defense Clash card. So I'm going to tap my resource. I'm going to play my 1. And whenever these cards are played, they do not have summoning sickness, so you can immediately attack or immediately use the card. This is going to be where you're going to be playing the cards, much like Magic. The Clash zone is what it's called. You're also going to have an accessory zone, similar to almost like Yu-Gi-Oh!, where you can play traps or accessories right here. You can lay those anytime anytime when it's your turn. However, you have to have the resource to be able to play that card. So if you are setting up a trap or a resource, you do have to have the mana requirement or the resource requirement. So I'm not going to choose to attack, so I'm going to pass turn. So she's going to draw for a turn. She's laying down a resource card. She's setting down a accessory card or a trap card in the accessory zone. So she's playing 2, and that's perfectly okay.
Pass turn.
And she's going to pass turn. So I'm going to untap. I'm going to draw for turn. And then I'm going to look and see what card I want to play as a resource. So I'm going to play Sonoro as a resource. So now I have 2. And I am going to play Magnate over Power Overflowing. It's going to be a 0 cost. It's going to be a Clash buff card. So what that's going to allow me to do is you may only play this card if your contender is a green alpha card, which he is. Target contender or Clash card you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Then you may draw 1 card. So I'm going to attack with Magnate. He's going to get +2/+2. And he's going to be attacking for 3/4. Because on my contender card, Clash card or Alpha Clash cards you control gain +0/+1 or +0 attack +1 defense. So he's going to be attacking for 3/4 against her contender card. She doesn't have any response to that, and the attack will go through. Now this is going to go to your Oblivion or your graveyard. Because of the text on Magnate Power Overflowing, I can draw a card. My card's going to stay tapped or engaged is what they call it. I haven't used any resources. My turn is still not over. And I'm going to set this card down in my accessory zone. And I'm going to pass turn. She's going to draw for turn. She's going to play a resource card. She is engaging 2 resources.
So this one has a trigger, and I may reveal the top 3 cards of my deck. If you do so, put a Weber or Edwards card with the initial resource cost of 3 or less among them onto my Clash that one.
So this is going to be Moxie Alpha Hunting Specialist. It's a 2-cost card. It has a trigger when it enters. It states you may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. If you do, you may put a Weber or Edwards Clash card with the initial resource cost of 3 or less from among them into your Clash zone, engaged. Then put the remaining cards into your Oblivion. So essentially you're going to mill your deck looking for a Weber or a Edwards card. If you do, then you can put them in your Clash zone. You can basically play them without the cost.
I didn't have any, so these are all going to...
So she didn't have any either Weber or Edwards cards, and they are going to go to the Oblivion or the graveyard.
Okay. And,
So she has an option either to attack or not attack, depending on what her strategy is. She can either attack my contender, or I'm sorry, she can either attack my Clash card because it is engaged. If it was not engaged, she would not be able to attack it directly. Because it's engaged, it's eligible to be attacked directly. if she does want to attack, she can either attack this card directly, or she can target my contender directly. So she's going to target my contender directly for 3. I'm going to pay a cost and do a quick action card. It's a 1-cost action card. It states counterattack, send target attacking clash card with an attack power of 2 or less to the Oblivion. So this card has 3 attack, so that wouldn't work. So that was my mistake. I didn't understand thoroughly this card, but you can see the mechanic of how some of these traps or the quick action cards will work or not work. So that will not work, and 3 will get through.
And I'm going to attack with my contender, your contender.
So she's going to use her contender to attack mine directly. It's going to be a 1 attack, 0 defense against a 1 attack, 0 defense. So 16, 1 will get through, and then she will go down 1 to 16 as well. Okay.
Bastard.
All right, I'm going to untap. Good to go. Okay, draw for turn. I'm going to play a resource card. Okay, so I'm going to play a card in my accessory zone. I'm going to tap for 1. I'm going to play a basic action card. It grants my Magnate Cunning Planner +1, +0. And then I am going to attack for 2 against Moxie, the contender.
Okay, I'm going to buff it. 2 + 2 + 2.
So she's playing an incoming support, which is a buff card, which gives +2/+2 to the contender, +2 attack, +2 defense. So it's going to block the attack and kill my contender, or kill my clash card, which will also put this as well in the Oblivion.
And I may pick up a card.
And then it also states she can draw a card. And I will pass turn. So you can kind of see the rhythm of the game. You're going to untap, draw for turn, play a resource. You're going to tap, tap, tap.
Adding a headquarters.
She's going to add a Clash Ground card, which is almost like a land, almost like a land card. I think they're called land cards in MetaZoo, where you can basically establish like an area that you're fighting in. In this particular case, it's called the United Nations headquarters, and it kind of gives it kind of sets the scene for where the superheroes or the alphas are fighting. So it's saying that, you know, in your imagination, United Nation headquarters is where this is all taking place. And it gives certain flavor text to it. In this case, Alpha Hunter Clash cards grant +2 attack, +0 defense, and interception. Interception is a defense against flight. It will cause you to be able to attack cards with flight. And then accessories are reduced by 1 resource to play, and attach costs are reduced by 1 resource as well. 1 Clash Ground can only be in play at a time. For example, if I had a Clash Ground card and I played it on my side, then this card would go to the Oblivion, and then my Clash Ground card would then take priority.
I'm going to pass turn for now.
And then she's going to pass turn. I'm going to untap. I'm going to draw for turn. I'm going to play a resource card. Okay. I'm going to play a Magnate Power Overflowing for 0. It's going to grant me +2/+2 against for my contender. I'm going to attack with my contender against Moxie for 3 attack and 2 defense.
Okay.
It will go through, and that will complete my turn. Goes to the Oblivion, and yep, I will pass turn. She's going to untap, draw for turn. So she's looking at the Clash Ground to see what positive impacts that has on her cards to determine her turn. She's going to tap for 2. She's going to play Moxie's Light Armor. What is it called? Moxie's Light Power Armor. So this is going to be a accessory card weapon. So she's going to attach that to Moxie. It's almost like you know, kind of giving your alpha or your character power armor.
I only had to tap 1 because I forgot my accessories or my attached are reduced by 1.
Okay, so.
Oh wait a minute! No. I totally played that wrong.
So it should be for 2, right?
So.
And then to attach it is 2 cost.
Yeah, so it should be actually cost me 3.
Accessories, or what does it say here?
Are reduced by 1.
Accessories are reduced by 1 to play, so
Okay,
it would
so
be a 2 cost. And then attach costs are reduced by 1, so it would be a total of
Yeah, okay,
2,
so I can't attach
3.
it.
So it would be
Tap
a total of 3 to play.
Yeah.
So 2 resources. Then this has an attach cost in the flavor text here that says it has 2 little black, almost like little diamond looking icons. And those are attach costs, so you'd have to play the resources to attach it. To play it to satisfy the resource cost, and then additionally you'd have to play more to attach it. Because of the Clash Ground, it's reduced, so in this case it would be a total of 3 resources to play, 2 resources appear, and then 1 attachment resource. Okay. And then she played an additional resource because she forgot to do that initially.
And then I'm going to tap that, and then I'm going to enter Moxie, and I can draw a card.
Okay.
Okay. So I am going to attack with this one for 5, 6, 7. So it's a 7-3.
So 7-3. All right. And I don't really have a response. I've got kind of a bottleneck here with alpha cards, so that's going to go through. So it was at 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be reduced down to 9. But this isn't bad though, totally, because in the flavor text for your contender, if you get down under a certain health, it's gonna trigger effects. So in this case, when it gets down to 10, there's a trigger on my contender. Once per turn during your primary phase, you may engage this card. If you do, target opponent discards 1 card. So it kind of gives you a little bit extra help when it knows you're losing.
Okay. And then I'm going to attack you, contender with mine. Does this one get a +2 also? Because it's a clash card, right?
It's an Alpha Hunter card, so yes, it would.
So it's
Yep.
attacking you for 3.
So 3. So I'm going to so I'm going to use a counterattack quick action. I'm going to pay 1. And that's going to negate the attack, because if it was one of these cards, it would send it to the Oblivion. In this case, your contender cannot be sent to the Oblivion, and it would just stop the attack.
Okay.
So after that triggered, it goes to the Oblivion or the graveyard, and I got my judge here making sure that nothing goes wrong, and that will pass turn. So I'm going to untap, draw for turn. I'm going to play New York City, a Clash Ground. So that's going to remove this Clash Ground and it goes to the Oblivion. So my Clash Ground, New York City, Clash cards, or I'm sorry, Alpha Clash cards get +2, +0, and Flight. Trigger when it enters, each player draws 1 card. So it entered, we can draw 1 card. I'm also going to tap my last resource for 1. Magnate Cunning Planner. It states here, when it's defeated, you may draw 1 card. It's a 1 attack, 1 defense. During my primary phase, you may engage this card. If you do, target opponent discards 1 card. Okay. So this is going to be a 2-part attack. So what I'm going to do is, this Alpha card is going to get +2 and Flight, so 3. Does this have any buffs on it?
Yeah, it's Flight.
Is it a 3 or a...
It's a 5-2.
It's a 5-2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it has...
Or it's a 5-3, sorry.
And it has interception, right?
I have Flight. Oh, interception was from the headquarters.
Gotcha. Okay, because the attachment, it gives it Flight. Okay. So I'm going to attack for 3 against her contender.
Okay, block it.
Does this have Flight?
Nope. Oh no, can't block it.
Yep, can't block it because it doesn't have Flight, and this one is already engaged or used, so it can't defend. So she's down to 10. Then I'm also going to attack with my contender. It says, once per turn during your primary phase, you may engage this card. If you do, target opponent discards 1 card. So I engaged it. I'm going to attack. She's going to have to discard a card, so she's going to shuffle. And then I'm going to attack for 3 against her contender.
Attack for 3. Oh, what does he get? Okay. And you get her
So
for 1.
7. And then a rebuttal for that is 1, so 8. All right, and then that will complete my turn, pass turn.
So I'm going to attach my weapon, and because I'm under 10, I don't have to pay the attachment cost.
Okay, so she's attaching another power armor to this card to bolster it. And because she's under the 10 health here, it engages the ability to where she doesn't have to pay her attachment cost or the resource cost to attach it. So now this one is in light power armor, just like this one is.
Okay, so this one's going to attack you for 5.
So she's coming through with 5, which will take me down to 3.
And then I will attack you again for 3.
So for 3 again, and that is it. So good game. Something that we kind of didn't go over with this game was how we can kind of go back and forth during engagements. For example, if we were fighting and you can do what's called a clash buff. And so this is kind of that magnate power overflowing card. If, for example, if she was going to attack one of my cards, I could do a clash buff and add that to my card. The way I was using it was I was using it to buff it when I attacked, but you can also do it when you are defending as well.
I did that once with this one.
Did you? Mm-hmm. Okay. So there, I forgot there was an example of that over here, but that was something that we didn't really highlight, but you can kind of play with that as you're going through, as long as you have the resources down here. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. I will definitely try to clarify anything that I didn't cover in depth. Thanks again, guys.